people? James Wedmore here with Business by Design, and I just wanted to make a quick video walking you through what we call the webinar launch calculator. So this is a very special gift. We use this ourselves when we run our own launches, and we give this to our students as well. So it's a very special treat just for you, and I'm going to take you through it right now. It's 3 super duper simple steps that doesn't take very much time from you at all. So the first thing you want to do is set your sales goal. Well, I've got podcast episodes and many discussions talking about how I set goals, but let's say you just say, I want to do $10,000 on my next webinar launch. Then you have to put your price in. Let's say you've got a $497 product. And then the third one is the one you probably need the most help with, but you can just leave this as 10. If you know your webinar conversion rate, you can change this. This is attendees to sales. So this is the number of attendees divided by the number of sales or the number of units sold. So if you had 5 sales on a 100-person attended webinar, that would be 5%, right? So this is a 10%. And here's all that. Once you have those 3 numbers, it automatically reconfigures everything. You don't have to do anything else. So I do recommend default 10% is a nice way to go. Once you have that, you're going to have all this data. And you'll notice that if I change it to like 50, some of these numbers start to change. Okay, so let's just keep it at 10. So here's the first one that it spits out for you. It'll tell you how many units you need to sell. So 20 times 497 is going to give you 10,000. That's pretty clear right there. You could have done that math on your own. Total sales needed on the webinar is 10. Now, why is that? What we've seen in our webinar launches is that about half the sales come in the follow-up sequence, sometimes even more. So we just do a nice 50%. So it's really the calculator is just dividing that by 2. So that means when you do your webinar, the reason why we do that, by the way, is people do their webinar and they only get half, and they're like, oh my gosh, I only got half of my goal that I wanted to. And I said, don't worry, just follow our, proven, patented follow-up series, and you can double your sales afterwards. And sure enough, they do. So if you got 10 on your webinar, you'd be like, hey, I'm right on track. But in order to get 10 units, you're going to need to get 100 attendees, right? Because it's 10%. And then if you want 100 attendees, you're going to need about 333 registrants. And that's based on a 33% attendance rate. So if you have higher attendance rate, you could adjust that, but that's pretty standard. So what you have here is a very simple goal. If you want to generate $10,000, you've got to get 333 people registered for your next webinar. Right? And if you were going to spend Facebook ads, you'd have to spend an estimate of about $833. Hey, $833 to generate $10,000? You show me something out there that's getting a better ROI than that, right, my friends? So that's, of course, based on like a $2.50 cost per lead, something like that. You could do the math to figure it out. And it will actually give you your earnings per lead, which is like my favorite magical number ever, and that is, total sales divided by registrants, and that'll give you 30. So look, if each lead or registrant is worth $30 to you, and you're spending $2 to $3 a lead to get it on from Facebook ads, you're sitting pretty. You're sitting pretty. Yes, that makes sense. So there you go. You can play around with this. You can do a few scenarios where you start using this and it starts not working is when they're trying to sell like a $50 product on here. And you're like, man, I need 1,000 attendees. Look at my EPL drops. So one of the things you want to do is try and keep your offer price really at least $197 on a webinar. It depends on the niche that you're in, but higher the price, obviously, the better results you're going to get if you can convert. But here's the thing. If you sell something like a $97 product, well, maybe your conversion rate's more like 15 to 20%. So you can adjust that number as well. That's why we give that to you. So notice if I can convert at 30% on a webinar, my EPL just went up. But the biggest thing that's going to help you is the course price. So now if I sell something for $997, look at my earnings per lead is $175. So you see just a few scenarios. Listen, these numbers are essential. If you're going to run a webinar, you need to know how many registrants you need, how many attendees, how many you're going to sell on the webinar, how much you're going to sell after, your conversion rates, your performance rates. It's so important. This calculator helps. Now, here's the dealio. You'll see this big button down there below. We have put together a powerful video series, video training that really shows you how to package your content, turn it into an online course, a membership site, group coaching program, et cetera, and launch it to the world. That's what I've been able to do in my business. So just go ahead and click that link to watch the first video. It's pretty powerful. I just like to teach my students how I built my 7-figure business and the steps I took. So super high value video. I think you're going to love it. There's actually 3 videos. That's the link to the first one. I hope you enjoy the calculator. This is a powerful tool. It's yours free. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.